Hi, I'm Mayce.
And I'm Missy.
We're best friends
and business partners. And each week, we're going to bring you a quote that inspires us, and we're going to talk about it.
Join us as we break down our favorite impactful messages for leadership and share how you can apply them to lead with confidence and purpose.
Get ready for a fun and authentic journey into leadership, life, and everything in between. Well, hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie. I am so excited. Today's episode is one like I think our listeners are going to want to tuck in and really listen to.
That's right. Our guest today is Don La Foucade. He's an inspirational speaker and author. Don's been actually delivering motivational talks and workshops across the Caribbean since 1999. There's a song about that. And now globally, he works with youth and corporate teams, athletics, educators, always with the same mission. And we know he's got a great heart, don't we, Mayce? His mission is to help people rise above their past and soar in full flight.
Oh, I just love that. Yay, Don.
We're so glad you're here.
To have you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know how much we both love you.
We do. We love you so much.
So we are just so excited. We're going to dive right in. So I'm going to give the quote, and then, of course, we're going to talk about it, right? So here's the quote, Don, that we picked for you. We think it's perfect for you. And this is it. Don't live off your past successes or failures. Live for the next big pursuit. And that was written by Aaron Lauritsen. Do either one of you know who that is?
Aaron? I don't.
Don, do you?
Neither do I.
No, I don't know.
But it's a great quote.
It's a great quote. So it's a great quote. So let's talk about it.
Well, okay. So, Don, I think that this quote is really in alignment with you. So we would love to hear, what comes to mind when you hear this?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic. First of all, I'm just so happy to be here.
Oh.
So happy to be here. And it's really exciting for me to be part of this. I mean, let me just tell you quickly, two of my favorite people on the whole world. So when I hear
we feel the same. We feel the same about you.
So excited. But to answer the question specifically, if you arrive, you stay there. And for me, I don't live in my past because my past is already past. And if you arrive, you stay there. And for me, like I tell when I do workshops, I ask people at the beginning, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? And people normally say, good. Good.
Right.
But very rarely does someone say great. And I tell them good is the enemy of great. And the past is really for reference, not residence. Too many people live.
Wait a minute.
That's a tweetable.
That is a tweetable if we tweeted. Go back, say that line about the past again, because I don't want people to miss it. Say it again.
The past is a place for reference, not residence. Too many people live in their past. And if they're still celebrating their past, they really haven't grown. Because the past has passed.
Yeah.
And I always say it has come to pass. So, it has come
the
to pass.
past has come to pass. That is so true.
It's come to pass. And there's still a future. We're still alive, and there's a future to look forward to. So I want to look forward to the next big thing. Yeah, I celebrate the things that happen and the great things at that, but I want to look forward to the future.
Don, why do you think then, and not just successes, failures, but kind of both, why do you think leaders stay in their past? Why do you think they want to rest on what they've done in the past?
Well, some of them is just bragging rights, bragging rights. But people, there are 4 zones. There's comfort, fear, learning, and growth. And many people are prepared just to remain comfortable, like to protect their reputation, and people sometimes they find their identity in something they accomplish, and their identity is so much more. And also, people don't like to be challenged as well, too. They've got through this one thing, and that next step, they don't want to get past the fear. But as you all guys know, and I suppose you're not going to do very quickly, I'm going to do something with a word.
Oh, and don't do it yet. Save it till later. Save it till later.
I'll give you one, you know what I mean? But people generally don't like to take risk. So
Yeah.
they've managed to accomplish
Right.
something, but they're not risk takers. So
Yeah.
that actually keeps them in that comfort zone, and they don't go forward from there.
Yeah.
I love it.
One of our mentors, all three of, we share a mentor, John Maxwell, and he often says, yesterday ended last night. And I
Wow,
often
wow.
use that with my boys, right? Like if they have had a challenging day, but even when something is great, I like to tell them, yesterday ended last night. It's amazing. We want to celebrate successes, big and small, but I think you're right. Some leaders only focus on that, right? They only focus on a huge success. They allow that success to define them. But as you shared, Don, they're more than just their failures. They're more than just their successes.
So good. Both of you said the word challenge, which made me think that is sometimes the issue as we're trying to move forward is we don't want to be challenged because we're in that comfort
That's
zone.
right.
So I totally agree with you. But I have a piggyback on this, and we're talking about the successes and you people's kind of sitting there. But how can past failures, Don, hold people back from pursuing the next big thing or that next success?
The first thing I say is that some people focus on the problem and they don't focus on the solution. Sometimes it's insecurity, and then also people get stuck. People get stuck, and
And
stuck for me.
stuck stinks.
Oh yeah, definitely. And stuck has when people are stuck, stuck, and I can't help myself.
I
I
know you
always
can't
say
help yourself, Don.
stuck, same thinking you continually keep.
Oh
Well,
my
God, you
gosh.
are just so gifted. I mean, we're going to let
Right?
our listeners
I
in
was
on
going to
it a
say
little
Macy.
later.
Oh my
But just
gosh.
keep going, Don. You're
Yeah.
dropping gold.
Yeah, but definitely people remain stuck because it's the same thinking that they keep. And then one thing that to me, it's a question of motive. We have to ask ourselves, why do we do what we do? And it's a
Mm.
question of motive. And what I've discovered, even from my own life, motive, motive, in the middle is the ti, and that's it backwards. And around the it is the move. What is it that moves me? And that the ti is so important, is that whether it's going to be a transformed individual or it's just to show that it's a talented individual. And some people just want to show, okay, I'm talented in this one thing. I'm a talented individual. But are you an individual that is about transformation? Is that what moves you? Being transformed yourself and helping others be transformed. So really it's a question of motive, and some people just is really between nowhere or now here. And many people just get to a place where they're nowhere. But for nowhere to become now here, and this is a tweetable one, there must be a pause between the now and the here. And that pause, Pause, at the end of pause, there's a use. Every pause should have a meaningful use, and that has to do with the PA. There's a purpose to be accomplished.
All right. We're gonna pause for a
I was going
minute.
to say, we have to pause, Macy.
We've got to let our listeners know what's happening here. So,
Yes.
Don, you are you're the only person I've ever met in my entire life with this gift.
And it is a gift, Macy.
I
It
don't
is
know if there are other
truly a
people.
talent.
I don't know if there's other people in the world that have this gift, but listeners, hopefully you're hearing it. What Don does is he takes words and he breaks them down so that you're thinking more about the word and like what the word actually means. I mean, what he just said with the pause, Pause, there's a use, USE, inside the pause. How are you going to use that pause for your purpose? Don, is this something? I mean, I know we're going off a tangent, and that's okay.
But
I think our listeners
they're
are going
wanting
enjoy
to
it.
know for sure.
Is this something that you've been doing, this wordsmithing? And I don't know if you call it something else, but is this wordsmithing something you've been doing your entire life, like since you were a little boy? Like, talk to us a little bit about the history and how this started. I mean, it's just mind blowing.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Certainly. Well, let me say, first of all, if you don't know the use, expect abuse. I used to be able to do things with words and I didn't know what they were for. I just find I can do things with words. And I had like, probably about 10 years ago, I got a revelation that Don, these words that you can see into, the words speak life. And those words can actually mean something to somebody. And I just started to be able to look at words in a unique way. I mean, one letter can make a difference. Some people either they get bitter because of their circumstances, or they intend to get better.
Right.
And that's a
Right,
mantra I
right.
have. Am I going to am I going to get bitter, or am I going to allow it to get me better, to be a better person? It comes like victor and victim. Some people prefer to remain a victim. They had a past failure, they hold on to it, and they say, okay, I'm a victim. But hello, but you can't be a victor. You can't be
Yeah.
a victor. We wouldn't have the
It's
light if
insane.
Edison didn't try and try again with the light
Right.
bulb. So many times he didn't get it right, but one time he got it right, and that's how we could see each other now.
And then Don, when you're like, is this off the cuff? Like you're just talking, and then as you're talking, this kind of distinction of the words just come to your mind. I mean, it's like it's
Every day I get new ones. Every single day. As a matter of fact, I've gotten to this stage now. And the more you do a thing, the better you get at it. But the
sure.
more I realize I'm inspired is that I can take any word or even somebody's name, because even their first name, and people have their names. So people have their names, and I use their names to encourage them. I just did a
Yeah.
counseling session with someone using her name, and her very name. She says, like, I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm
Wow.
too focused on my past. I should be focused about the future. I'm holding on too tightly, and you're squeezing just air. So I'm just so grateful and honored, and I just get so excited. And what I love is that it's not about me, because even as Macy and Missy, as you talk sometimes, I've seen you all tweet stuff and put stuff out there. And even from what you put, Macy will testify to this, Missy will testify to this, that I just send something based on what you've put out. So it's not
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
me.
Well, I actually remember when Macy first met you, and she called me and she's like, "You're not going to believe this person I just met." And how you spoke life into her, and you took her name and did that. And then I said, "Have him do me." Of course, I was jealous. I wanted some of your gifting as well. And it is phenomenal to
Yeah,
sit
it's
back
like
and watch you do
it's
your
just a
thing.
gift. It's just
Yeah.
a gift. It's incredible
You know
to
what
me.
it's like? It's almost like goodwill hunting, like how some people can do amazing things with numbers, Don. Like
Well, that's
you
not
are
us,
a
Missy, that's
true,
for sure.
no, we can't even do girl math with Alexa. But Don, it's like you have a genius when
Yes.
it comes to this.
Yeah, it's just one of the most incredible things. I mean, we were going to save it for later, but we're not
Yeah.
saving it. It
Yeah.
sounds like you're going to be dropping these golden nuggets all through. So, Don, you've written a lot of books. Talk to us about how this quote specifically, don't live off your past successes or failures, live for the next big pursuit, correspond with your books, especially the ones that have full flight, because several of your books talk
Yeah.
about the full flight in their title. So talk about how this quote relates to the books that you've already written.
Well, certainly. Now, flight is really a combination of fight and light. Now, I've
Oh my
had some
gosh.
fights. I've had some fights. I've really had some things I had to. And for me, I could have just stayed with the fights and the failures. But I realized there could be light. And I don't have to be a chicken about life, but I can be the eagle in
Mm.
full flight. And I love the eagle, I normally use the eagle because the eagle flies better when there's a storm. If you spell storm without the R, you get storm. If you make a word out of storm, I can make the most out of any storm. The R means I have to be responsible. I have to take some responsibility for my life. I could just, do the blame game, blame everybody, but blame always ends in me. What am I
I
doing
mean,
about
Missy,
it?
we literally could we don't need, we're like done. This episode is
Okay.
so full of goodness, Don. It is
Right.
just,
But
I literally, for those of you that are not watching on YouTube, but you're listening on the podcast apps, like if you can see Missy in my face, like we're like having to pick our
Mind
jaw
blown.
up off the floor with the blame is me. I mean, this is just crazy.
Well, and I imagine, Macy, that our listeners are like, wait, what was that? Let me
They're gonna
pause.
have
Let
to
me
go back and
rewind.
listen. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to go back and I'm going to write. And it's things that we can have on Post-it notes all around us to remind us of these little nuggets Don's dropping on us.
Yeah, we're supposed to be the eagle in life, right? And the eagle can fly. The eagle is such a special bird. But so many of us, our thinking is what has to change. And when we change our thinking, we can change our life because thoughts become things, as you know.
Yes.
Thoughts are things. So when we think about the wrong things repeatedly turn up. But when we think about there's hope and there's possibility, and okay, it didn't work out so well, but guess what? I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try another way. There is a way. And I just want to say this very quickly. Somebody under the sound of my voice and our voices, somebody's going through something. Now they want to get through, but the only way is through. True has rough in it. It's going to be a bit rough. But the fact that you're going through, it means you're already closer to the exit. And when you exit, that's how you get over it. Some people want to get over it, but they don't want to go through it. That's why some people stay where they are in that comfort zone. I'm not willing to be uncomfortable. I want to stay. No, but guess what? From the time you get past that fear, if you take the excuses out of fear, you can get far. And from the time you get far, learning and growth starts to repeat itself. Learning and growth starts to repeat itself. But you have to be willing to be made uncomfortable in order to find comfort versus growth is no comfort and no growth. So you have to be willing to see past that.
Wow.
Hey, bestie. I was thinking about our listeners this morning and imagine that so many of them are like managers that we have worked with from all over the world for the past decade, feeling overwhelmed and spread thin.
Yes, and they're probably finding themselves constantly repeating expectations, fixing mistakes, or carrying too much of the load, and it's time for a change.
At Mpactful Messages, we specialize in helping managers in high-stress jobs take back control of their team and their time. We know that they want to lead more effectively, increase team performance, and achieve all their goals without burning out. And we created a solution.
That's right. If you're solving problems your team should be handling, and you're explaining the same thing over and over again, and you're reacting to fires instead of leading forward, and you feel like it's all on you, you need to go right now to www.manager-reset.com and download our new guide.
And here's the thing. You don't need a new planner or another motivational quote. You need a reset.
So go right now to www.manager-reset.com for your free guide. You'll be so glad you did.
Don, where can people, just because we were just talking about your books, where can they order your book? I mean, I would suspect that people are ready to order these books. Where are they on Amazon? Because I know you're in the Caribbean, so.
Interestingly, my books so far have just been hard copies. I'm now getting into this stage. My next book, because I just launched a bottle, not a book, but a bottle called Don't Bottle It Up. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm actually going into a season of writing. I'm going to be writing 5 books at the same time.
Wow.
And that is going to be available on Amazon. I mean, people, I'll give them, at the end, I'll give them my contact and so how to get on to me. But I'm going into a season of writing. And I realize that, we're not gifted, we're blessed to be a blessing. Some of us miss that. We just think about the blessing. And we forget that we're blessed to be a blessing. So I'm going to try to, just be a blessing to as many people as I can through the books. One word can change somebody's life. One word.
Yeah, you're right.
Can change somebody's life.
So, Don, you're getting ready to go into a season of writing 5 books, which is huge. There are people with one book on their bucket list that they haven't written the first word. So do you have any suggestions on daily practices, et cetera, that help you personally keep focused, keep in action as you think about the future, those future pursuits instead of focusing on the past? Anything to share with our listeners?
Well, 2 things I'll share. 3 things I'll share very quickly.
Okay.
Now, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. But I look at scripture, and there's one scripture that I came across that I can't put down. It's my favorite. And it says, it's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you a hope and expected end. And knowing that God already has great thoughts for me, that's something I look forward to every day. And from my own experience, I went through a very horrible, during the COVID time, I went through a personal, situation at home. It was very, very bad. And what came to me is that the situation hit me like bam, B-A-M. And the bam, the B-A-M, there's a breaking, there's a aching, but more importantly, what is the situation making out of me? What is the situation is making? So there's a breaking, definitely. You didn't see it happening. There's an aching, it hurts. But what is it making out of me? And I realized that in spite of what I'm going through, I can be a vessel of hope. HOPE is helping other people every day. I love to encourage people, especially when I feel down. Oh, I love to encourage others. And it's like perfume. You spray it on others, you get some on you too. So in encouraging other people, so when I'm talking to them, I'm not talking from a place. The man with an argument will always be at the mercy of a man with an experience. So I'm talking from my experiences. I'm not talking from any book, or I'm talking from what I've been through, and I know that you can get through. And the fact is, sometimes I go through more to help people get through more. So I don't quarrel and say, okay, why me? I've stopped that thinking. Long time, I'd say, oh gosh, why me? I'm a victim. No, now I say, why not me? Because I can be used to help somebody else.
Yeah. I had a coach once that, had shared with me, because a lot of people, I think, Don, you're right, will say, why me? Why me? Why me? And she had taught me to just slow it down and say, well, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? Not in a negative, like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? But like, really, why is this happening? And I think
like for the lesson.
Right. If you could really slow it down and say, why? Like, why is this happening to me? There has to be a reason. And I love what you said about this breaking, aching, and making, because I'm with you, Don. I think that there is someone that's listening to this right now that is going through something, right? We all go through things. We can't escape from it. But I love that if you could just remember those 3 letters, breaking, aching, and making, and really focus on the why me, why is this happening to me, you will be able to find the lesson and pass that lesson on. I believe that's why God puts us through these things. One, to continue to have faith, right, in Him, but also to say, how can I take these ashes and turn it into something beautiful? Because we're always, all of us are destined for failure, mistakes, heartache. Like, that is just, unfortunately or fortunately, part of this earthly world.
It is.
We're in.
Well, so I could add to it, but you both said it so beautifully. No, you said it all. Like it. Yeah, I mean, our pain is always for a purpose, and the bam, that is what it feels like. And so to have that new awareness.
I love it. I love that it's 3 letters, right? Bam. Yeah. That, because you do feel like, whoa, that just kind of hit me out of nowhere. But if you're literally saying breaking, aching, making, breaking, aching, make, like I mean, you've dropped a lot of gold today, Don. That I think is the one that I will take away just from this session for sure. Let us ask you this. When you have a challenge, obviously you shared with us that you had a big challenge several years ago. How do you reset? Like, what is the reset? Like, what do you do to say, okay, it's time to move on and get ready for the next challenge, hopefully a positive one?
Yeah, it's interesting what you said there. You talk about a positive one. Now, a plus is only a plus when a minus decides to look up. I just want to throw that nugget in.
Wait, say it again.
The plus is only a plus when a minus decides to look up. And we will go through stuff. And big one for me is we speak to ourselves, and we have to be careful because we believe ourselves. Yes, other people will say things to us, true or not true, but we have to be careful what we say to ourselves.
And you know what, Don? I think we all speak to ourselves in ways that we would never speak to someone else.
Yes,
right?
Yes. And there are 4 lines. Just simply it goes, when faced with a worsening situation, let me not cast blame in any direction. After all, the next action is dependent upon my reaction. I'll say it
Wow.
again. When faced with a worsening situation, do not cast blame in any direction. After all, the next action is dependent upon my reaction. We are going to face, as long as we're on the face of the earth, we are going to go through something. But when we face a challenge, and what's so interesting, we have to be willing to change where we are, but we have to, in order to change where we are, we have to change how we are thinking. It's so interesting that if we spell the word challenge without the LLE, we get change. So how we change is through a challenge. The LLE, we have to live life every day. So the challenges mean that there are changes that are inside of us. There are changes that we can make. It's not what happens, it's what we do about what happens. Things happen, but what am I going to do? And I have discovered that you find me speaking with a passion, but I discovered the other day that in the word passion is pain. And I said, wait, in a passion, there's pain. Yes, it was birthed in pain. And the SSO, the remaining letters, is where you can see several opportunities and then discover your passion. So through that pain, through that pain is where you can discover your passion and see several opportunities. And like me, when I see this now, I want to encourage other people. I want to develop. I want to help other people because we all go through stuff. It's not just about, I know somebody is facing what we are facing and they're not seeing a way out. That's why I love things like John Maxwell. And so, like when I heard about it, I had to do some self-development. Nobody has arrived. If we arrive, we just stay there. And some people say you're on the right track, but you could be on the right track and not going anywhere. Somebody who knows where they're going will run you over. So you have to be going somewhere. Where am I going? And at times we have to go down a different road. We have to I tell people, don't try and turn your life around. You'll see the same thing. That's a 360. Go down a different road. See
That's
something.
so good because
that
so
is
many people
so
say,
good.
I
Yes.
love that, Don, because so many people say, like, I'm going to turn my life around. But if you
Mm,
really stop and think about that, if you do turn your life around, you're going in the exact same direction you
Yes.
just came from.
yes.
Yes. Take a
Yes.
new
Oh.
path.
Yes, I love that. All
Yes.
right. Well, it's time for our takeaway for this week. I mean, I don't know. How do you just have one takeaway? Listeners, go back, listen to this again, and make sure you let us know which one of the Donisms is your favorite. But if you only take one thing away from this episode, let it be this, that yesterday is not fuel for today.
That's true.
For leaders to ride on past wins or to let past failures kind of weigh them down, but neither one of them is going to move you forward. Yesterday's highlight reel doesn't guarantee tomorrow's success, and yesterday's mistakes don't have to dictate your future. The only real measure of leadership is what you're pursuing and building right now, today, and moving forward.
That is so good, Macy. And I would agree, like great leaders aren't defined by what they're or are defined by what they're pursuing, right?
Yeah.
Not their position. And so living for that next big pursuit, it keeps us growing.
Yes.
It keeps us stretching and leading
Yes.
with fresh vision. And so whether it's a new idea or a fresh opportunity or a renewed commitment to people, leaders who keep pursuing what's next create a momentum that others want to follow.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
so, Don, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. We have absolutely loved having you.
Don't tell our other guests, but this was a favorite. This is going down as a host favorite for sure.
Yeah, it's so fun to like be able to share you with our listeners. And so if our listeners want to stay connected with you and learn more about what your company offers, how can they do that? They're probably saying, I want him to do my name.
Or I want to hire him for my next gig to give out
Yes.
everybody's names. Like, how do we get in
Yes.
contact with you?
Yeah, it's very easy. So my first name is Don, and the book I wrote, the series I have is In Full Flight. So my website is doninfullflight.com.
Love
And
that.
my email, they can get me at email doninfullflight@gmail.com. So
And
the
we'll put
website,
we're going to put that in the show notes.
yeah.
too.
So that's very, 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 very easy. The website, doninfullflight.com and infullflight@gmail.com. And I want to give you
Perfect.
one nugget before I go very, very quickly. I
Okay,
just
go
want to
ahead.
say to somebody that remember, you go through pressure to discover that you're precious. Think of the diamond. The diamond, you go through pressure to discover that you are precious. You're indeed precious, whatever pressure you're feeling now. Hello, you just press through it and you'll be sure on your way to get to where you're meant to be and become who you're meant to be. Be blessed.
So good.
You're the best. We asked this of all of our guests. Now, you've given us so much, but what is your favorite leadership quote?
Yeah, I like Maya Angelou.
Okay.
And there's something she says in terms of your mindset and so, but she says, people will forget what you said. People will even forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
And boy, you made us feel so great today.
Yeah.
I'm really honored.
Inspired.
Really honored to be with you. And listeners, we want to hear from you too. Do you have a favorite leadership quote? Send it our way and we might spotlight it on a future episode.
And we'll be back next week with another quote and more leadership insights. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about it.
Bye, Bestie.
Bye, Bestie. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this show, please show us some love by clicking the 3 dots to download the podcast, leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast app, and talk about it with other leaders to help them find the show from any of the major podcast apps. We'd love for you to follow us on social media too. Impactful with an M _ messages on Instagram and Impactful Messages on LinkedIn.